Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Strategic Planning live training. We're going to spend the next 3 days together, and I'm really excited. For those of you who have been in the previous 3 days training, we have a lot of fun. So if you've been in one of the trainings before, please raise your hand, which means type in the chat. And if you haven't, then type in the chat also, because I want to know who you are, where you're from, what is your business, and how excited you are to be with us today. So get to your keyboard. This is not, for those of you who know me, this is not going to be the kind of training where you can do other things or multitask or go check your emails while I'm talking, because I'm going to keep you on your toes and we're going to get some work done and you're going to have some transformation happening. And this is going to happen right now, right here in the 3-day strategic planning live training. So please start by typing your name. Tell me where you're from. Tell me who you are. What is your business? Not only tell me, tell everyone else in the call, because this is going to be a great opportunity for you also to connect with other entrepreneurs who all want to plan strategically for the next 3 months, all have this like-minded mindset where you all want here to have a successful Q4, which is also now the most important actually quarter of the year, because this is the last quarter of the year. So if you want to reach your goals for 2021, this is when it all happens, right? So Sarah is already, this is Sarah, who is already here in the training. Thank you, Sarah. And I would love to see also other people typing in the chat. I'm looking here at the live so I can see your comments live. And let me tell me what's happening. Where are you? Because I don't see anyone here. So let me see, watch the live. Here we are. Here is Natalie. Okay, I see Sarah is here. Sarah is from my team. And so she is here to answer any questions or to help you during the training, at least in the beginning. And I see that Fern is here. Fern is helping business owners publish books, get media publicity, and figure out psychology of pricing. I love that, Fern. Thank you so much. I love that. So Fern has already posted her website. She already is telling you what she's doing. I want everyone else. I'm not going to start at everyone till everyone says who you are, where you're from, so that we know what's going on here, who is with us on this 3 days in order to actually plan strategically for our 3 months. So in the meantime, while everyone posts their details and what you do and maybe your website, and if you don't have a website, it's fine. Just explain what you do and tell us where you're from. I know that Fern is from Israel, but if you're from another place, please tell us, because we want to know how many people we have. Okay, we have Sharon. Great. Sharon is a journalist, a photojournalist, and she's sharing her blog, The Real Jerusalem Street. Okay, thank you, Sharon. I'm breaking my social media embargo while I finish Ulpan. Wow, that's Yael. Hi, Yael. Ooh, I'm so happy. I haven't seen you for a long time. That's true. You had a social media embargo. I'm so happy you're here. We have Tamar Schriger here, dietitian and holistic nutritional coach. Amazing. So while everyone else is typing where you're from and what you do, I want to tell you that in my programs with my clients, we actually, the Born to Do Business programs, we actually take also a full day to go over the strategic planning. We call this a strategic planning day. And we actually take every 3 months a full day to go over what we're going to go over today. So I just want to tell you that what I'm sharing with you here, some of the things, not everything, but some of the things are things that I'm also sharing in the paid program, okay? So that's really special because I believe in sharing. I believe in you also getting all the tools, because every entrepreneur needs to, and we're going to talk about this, needs to actually plan strategically their business. And we're going to talk about how planning for a business is actually what's going to make the difference between having a business and having a hobby. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to type in the chat, because again, this is going to be interactive. This is about your transformation. Okay, so I'm talking, you're doing the transformation. So we're going to have to work both ways here. So I really want you to be close to your keyboard and not to be doing anything else, because the more you're going to be focused on what's happening here, the more you're going to connect to yourself, to your strategy, to your mindset, to your vision, and the more you're going to be able to implement in the next 3 months. So I'm all here with you, and I want you to be all here with me, okay? Photography we have, so I'm sorry I'm not getting your name, because in StreamYard we don't see the name, but I think it's going to happen real soon on Facebook. So we have Tamar, we have Yael, we have Sharon, we have Fern, and now we have Yael Luba. Hi, Yael. Nice to meet you. I believe this is the first time that you are joining our 3 days training. So you are in photography, mostly magnet photography, and new business and handmade soaps. Nishama Soap. Wow, beautiful name. Amazing, Yael. Thank you for sharing. So while everyone else is typing who they are, where they're from, what they do, so we know where we are, I want you to really connect to yourself. And if you need to close your eyes for a second or for a minute, you can do it. We actually go through a whole visualization process, but right now I'm just going to get the essence of what we want to get. And I want you to visualize your next 3 months and type in the chat the one main goal. Just intuitively, we're going to go through a whole setting up goals and having all our projects and marketing and numbers all set up. So I'm going to I have you covered on this, okay? You'll have really your plan, but I want you to really connect to, if you just had to say intuitively, and we'll all have this inside ourselves, right? What is my one goal for the next 3 months for my business? I want you to type it in the chat, not only because you're sharing it with yourself, but also because you're getting accountability from the group, because typing it in and sharing it with the group is actually making it even more real. It's actually not just in my head before I go to sleep, oh yeah, I would love to do this in the next round. No, now I'm like in a business training with other entrepreneurs that all have also their goals. And if I'm typing that goal, then it's going to be real, right? It's going to become real for me, for everyone else. Right, so we have Hillary who is here. Hillary from Johannesburg, South Africa. Hi, Hillary, EFT tapping practitioner. So happy for you to be here. So again, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a minute and visualize what is the one main goal that comes up to mind without too much of strategy or thinking or overthinking. What is the one goal that you have for the next 3 months? So it could be a goal in number of clients. It could be a goal in money. It could be a goal in hiring. It could be a goal in personal development. It can be a goal in mindset. It could be a goal in projects, something that you want to implement in your business, right? Whatever comes to mind. I don't want you to think too much, because we're going to do a lot of thinking together. But right now, I want you to connect to your right brain, not the left brain, right? Not the one that is, already making all those, structured plan, but the one that is actually coming up to mind really intuitively. Oh, wow, we have Sharon who is talking get press pass renewed for 2022. Love that. That's a very specific goal. That is a goal that you can also be very specific at the end of the 3 months and say, okay, did I get my new press pass, my press pass renewed? Okay, love that, Sharon. So Fern has a 3-month goal. Finish creating my suite of passive income products, books, courses, on-demand videos on book publishing, media publicity, and psychology of pricing to begin moving seriously towards retirement. Okay, Fern. Okay, I was going to say it's not such a specific goal, but actually it is. It is, because if you want to start moving towards retirement, then we're talking about a pretty specific goal here. I mean, it's difficult to keep track of all this, but I'm sure you'll be able to. You have a lot of experience. So I like that. I like that you're already having a vision, being serious towards retirement. Okay. Then we have Yael. Yael is ready. Her goal is ready to get back into the swing mid-December. Okay, we have a date. While I'm doing Ulpan, I'm adding to my new skill set for my resilience coaching offering. Okay, we would like this to be a little bit more specific, but we're going to talk about what does it mean to set goals. And we have Yael who says, be serious about social media. Okay, again, be specific. What does it mean to be serious? What's social media? That's only for you. You can type it in if you want, but I want you to keep that goal in mind because we're going to come back to this at the end of the 3 days training, and we're going to ask you, how do you feel about that goal now? How do you feel about your next 3 months? Do you have this in control? Do you feel like you know how to get to that goal, right? So we're going to talk about generic goal setting, but we also want you to write this down somewhere. So if you haven't written down, it's in the group, so we have it here, but I want you to actually type it in somewhere, either in your notes or in a notebook, because we're going to come back to this and we're going to make sure that you have all the tools that you need to get this done. Okay, so if we have Tamar's trigger who says get website up and running. That's very specific, and also 3 months is a good amount of time to do this. Depending on the website, it might not be enough, but at least you have a goal and you can at least get it up even if you continue working on it. So I love that goal. So we have, Sarah is here. Sarah is saying, real estate agency, getting my office dealing with clients coming in from overseas efficiently and effectively. Amazing, specific goal. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining. So those of you who are joining now, if you haven't done it, type in the chat who you are, where you're from, what you do, and what is your goal in the same post so that we have everything. What is your goal for the next 3 months? So while you do this, I want to start sharing the PowerPoint that I'm going to share with you. And by the way, just to make sure that everything is clear, so you don't worry about what's happening, whether you take notes or not, you're going to get a recording of this training right after, the time that it takes to upload in our recording page, and then you're going to get the link to that page by email. So if you want to take notes, it's much better because you're going to remember better. But if you want to watch and focus on the PowerPoint, it's okay because you will get the recording from this, okay? So keep on typing if you haven't done it yet, who you are, what you do, and what is your goal for the next 3 months. And I will start with the presentation so that you can actually see this. So I'm just looking at my other screen because I want to move the slide on the other screen. So as I said, today is the first day of our 3-day strategic planning live training. Hi, Rachel. Great to have you. Writer, editor, and translator for Museum. Okay, the goal is to build relationships with new clients, cold email campaign, and branding. Love that. Love that focus. Amazing. You're amazing. This is great. We're going to talk about who doesn't come to those, not necessarily this training, but who doesn't take the time to set up the goals and to actually work on their strategic planning, and what happens to them. But it's not you, because you're all here and you are actually ready to plan for the next 3 months. So what are we going to talk about today? For those of you who know me, I'm very structured when I teach, and you'll have a slide for everything. And we're going to talk about what we will talk about, what are we talking about, and what we did talk about. So we're going to repeat things, so don't worry if you don't get it. And you're going to be able to also have questions and answers right away live. This is the beauty of live. So whenever you have a questions, just type it in the chat, okay? So we're going to talk about why it's important to start each quarter with strategic planning, exactly what you are doing, but we're going to really explain why it's important and what are you gaining out of this, and what are other people that are not doing it, other business owners, what does it mean for their business, and what are you avoiding by being here and working on your strategic planning. The other thing that we're going to talk about is what are the 3 components in strategic planning that we will go over in the next 3 days, right? So we're going to talk about, in day number 1, we're going to talk about your key numbers. This is a big concept. And then in day number 2, we're going to talk about reverse engineer of your marketing. How do we get to our revenue goals with the marketing by reverse engineering? In day number 3, we're going to talk about mindset and habits. So it's a really big program that I have for you here for 3 days. And like I said, I'm taking things that I'm teaching and that I'm doing in my strategic planning days with my clients. And obviously with my clients, we're doing it on Zoom and we have a full day, but it's really the same type of content that I'm sharing. So I really want you to know that this is content that I've worked on and that is really, really has results, like has brought results. So what are we talking about on day number 1? And that is, as far as I'm concerned, the most important. Well, actually, I'm going to say that every day. So you might get used to it. It's every time the most important, but for different reasons, right? And you'll see what I mean. So knowing your key numbers is obviously one of the most important things in your business, because without numbers, you don't have a business. And you'll see I even found a quote that says that. And I really believe that when you have a business, if you don't have your pulse on the numbers, then it means that you don't have a business, you have a hobby. But we're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about how to identify and calculate your business key numbers. Okay, really, really important. Some of you may already do it and it's great. And we're just going to double check that you're on top of all the key numbers that you need to have. And if you're not doing it, then this is great because you're going to learn how to do it. And I have clients and people that follow me that are still sending me messages up to this day and saying every 3 months, I remember you, I think about you, I do my numbers, and it's because you've taught me that. So if I'm doing only this with you, or if you're learning only this from me, then this is already great. You have no idea how many entrepreneurs do not actually do their numbers. Then we're going to work on our financial projections. Now that's a big word, a big concept. People get scared. Like, how do I know what's going to happen in the future? I have no idea. I don't even know if how many clients I'm going to have. We get all kinds of fears when we speak about the future, right? Uncertainty, we're not sure, but I'm going to show you how to work on your financial projections. And this is going to help you really be calmer and be more in control and know more what's going to happen. Even if, of course, we can't control everything, but at least have an estimation and have an idea. And this is what we need to do as business owners, right? We need to know what is going to happen in the next 3 months as much as we can. Right? We're not God or anything, but we can at least, based on what we've done until now, we can have an estimation and at least base all our strategic questions and decisions based on those numbers. And then we'll talk about money generating activities and exponential growth activities. So let's start with, Hillary has a 3-month goal, increase my client base in order to help more women and children and increase my income. Wow, that's a great goal. Exactly right on target with the key numbers and with the financial projections. So again, if you haven't written your goal in the chat, type in your chat, what is my goal? This is what I want to achieve by the end of the Q4. So let's start with facts. And I want you to realize where you are in this whole, overall number of people that are actually starting a business. And wherever you are, whether you're just launching your business or you're growing your business or you're already scaling your business, but this is really, when I saw those numbers, it was like, wow, we have to be aware of that, right? So first of all, understanding that 50% of small business owners fail in the first year. So if you're after the first year, you've already done probably the most difficult, which is not falling into those 50% of entrepreneurs. And that means that you really have a product, you really have a market, you're really answering a need. And so it means that you can grow your business and you're going to have more clients, more money, more revenue, and more offers, right? So that's already good news, right? And then more than 95% of small startups fail within the first 5 years. Now, this is really a huge number because it means that if you are more like between 1 and 5 years, it means that you're in the 5% of the business owners that are able to stay open. So now that's a pretty small number, I would say, and pretty big achievement, right? Because it means that in order to be able to stay in business for more than 5 years, you need to be able to do a lot of things that are going to enable you to stay in business. And it means that it's also that a lot of things that other entrepreneurs don't do. is going to probably make them not be able to stay in business. So I want you to type in the chat if this is something that you're surprised, or if this is something that you know. I knew about the 50%. That is a number that I heard, but not the 95%. That was something that I was surprised by. And so if you're also like, wow, this is a huge number, like how is this making you feel to know that 95% of entrepreneurs are actually failing in the first 5 years, right? Now, there are other interesting numbers. 40% of small business owners, or SMB, or small medium businesses, are profitable. Now, profitable means when you're covering your costs and you're making additional money, right? So that is also an interesting number, because you would think everyone who is in business is profitable. Well, no, because it takes time until you become profitable. Talking about key numbers, right? It takes time until from the money that you make, the money you invest, then you get to break even, which is the 30%. So reaching break even means that whatever you invested is covered by whatever money you're making. So you're not losing money, but you're not making money, right? And profitable means whatever is above the break even. So first of all, type in the chat if this is new to you, if this is something that you're surprised by, if this is something that you know. I'm very interested in understanding the 30% break even, right? It's really, really interesting. And then 30% of small and medium businesses are constantly losing revenue. Okay, so that is also a big number. And 9% of small, medium businesses get the chance to survive beyond 10 years. Okay, so we have now a structure that is showing us that if we're able to grow and scale our business, and we're here tonight, and we are actually taking the time to say, this is my business, this is important, this is something I want to invest in. I want to take the time to really think strategically on how I'm going to reach my goals, how I'm going to make the money I need, how I'm going to actually get the results that I need until the end of the quarter and the end of the year. That means that you have a lot of potential and a lot of more chances to be able to be successful until 5, 10, and then no limit, than other entrepreneurs who are actually not taking the time, who are actually, and let's talk about like why we're not doing it, right? Because there is a reason. It's not because we don't care. Of course we care. But what happens to most business owners, right? Most business owners, and maybe that's you, and if that's you, then I want you to be honest with yourself and say, oh, wow, this is me, and this is why I'm here tonight. This is why I'm deciding from now on to every 3 months. Now, it could be every month. It could be even every week if you want. But we always say minimum every 3 months, right? What we do, and I can say we as well, because if I don't make myself stop for my strategic planning day, because I have my own also strategic planning day where I plan my whole next 3 months, right? I don't do it only with my clients. I do it for my business as well. Well, we go from one day to the next, right? We go from 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, and we never stop to work on our business. And right, we never stop to work. We always work in our business, right? I'm sure you've heard this. A lot of people talk about the difference between working on your business, working in your business. So working in your business means delivering to clients, doing your marketing, doing your admin, doing all the things that you need to do, right? The sales. But working on your business means stopping and thinking and saying, okay, now I want to be strategic. Now I want to think about what's going to happen in the next 3 months. So I want you to type in the chat if you have a habit like this. Do you have like a time in your calendar where every week, you need to think about where your business is going, or every month, or every 3 months? I want you to type in the chat if this is something that is set up in your calendar, that you are actually stopping to, you're not working with clients, you're not doing marketing, you're not doing admin, you're actually looking at your business and actually taking the time to make strategic decisions. Now, we're going to talk about what is a strategic decision. A strategic decision means understanding, if I'm going in this direction, is this going to get me the results that I want, right? So let me give you an example. I want to increase my revenue. Okay, someone said that, right? Tamar says, I didn't realize the extent of the failures, right? So we could be proud of ourselves, right? We can give like a big pat on the back and say, wow, I'm in the 5%, right? I'm in the 5%. And that is already showing a lot on our persistence, on our commitment, on who we are and where we want to go. But what I want to say about strategic decisions is sometimes when we don't take the time to actually stop and think about where our business is going. So someone says, my goal is to, I think Hillary says, my goal is to increase my income. And I'm not talking about Hillary, I'm just taking this as an example, right? And if our goal is to increase our income, right, and then we are invited to participate in an event that is not directly going to increase our income, is going to ask a lot of work from us in marketing and promotion and social media, and it's not directly related to our income, right? We're not going to, meaning like this decision of participating to this event is not directly connected to having more income or more revenue, right? So if you don't do your numbers, or you don't know where you are, or you don't know, how much money do I need more to reach my goal to increase my income, then we're going to say yes to a lot of things, right? I want to say, raise your hand if this is you, right? I was like this too. I was like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, another idea, another event, someone that, is offering me to do this. Yes, why not, right? And then I would do all those things because it was fun and it was an opportunity. And then I would look at my goal and say, oh, wait, but I wanted to increase my income. But everything I did here is not really related to my income. So what am I doing? I'm like spending time and investing in activities and in projects and in relationships that are not really getting me closer to my goal, right? And that is because we are quick starters, because we're starting quick things and we always have 100 ideas a minute and we always have other opportunities, right? So let me know if this sounds like this is like you, right? Sharon says day to day, week to week, long-term plan is harder to do, right? And Yael says a mentor like you helps us anchor in these habits. Yes, that's why I'm here, right? But in order to anchor in these habits, we also need to really identify what's not working, right? What are we doing until now? So I want you to tell me if when you are within the quarter, within the 3 months, and you have an opportunity or a new project or something new to work on, and then you're like, yeah, why not? Yeah, because maybe, yeah, I'll make time, I'll work extra, and we don't realize that it's actually going to take us away from what? From our goal, because we didn't set the goal, we didn't calculate it, we didn't make it specific, we didn't give a number, and we didn't reverse engineer to know what are the projects that I can say yes to and the projects that I'm saying no to, because it is not really connected to the results that I want to reach, okay? I want you to tell me if this is resonating with you, and if this is something that you feel can help you to actually refocus and realign and restructure around the goals that you have, so that whatever goals you've decided you're going to make, that's what we're going to do tomorrow, is we're going to make a list of things that we are actually needing to do in order to get to our goal that we're going to define today. Okay, does it make sense? I want you to tell me if it makes sense, and tell me if this is helpful, and if you are actually recognizing some of the things that you are also doing and you would like to change. So type in the chat and let me know if this is something that you would like to change. Now, what is the solution? So the solution is to once a year, and that we do in the beginning of the year, we need to decide how much money we want to make for the year. And obviously, like I said, we cannot predict the future and we cannot know for sure that this is the amount that we're going to make. But I'm going to give you a rule of thumb, okay? And this is going to be really useful for you. Usually, when we are in the growing phase, not in the launching, but in the growing phase of our business and not in the scaling, and you can type in the chat if you know that you're launching, growing, or scaling. I can even give you more definition. So launching is when you just had your business, just launched in the first year, you just started having a few clients and you just started having clarity on your minimum viable product. That's the launching phase. The growing phase is when you already have a few clients, you already have a good product that's selling, and you need to have more clients and you need to sell to more people. And scaling is when you already know that you have an irresistible offer, you have an ideal client, but you need to make it more profitable, to optimize it, and to spend less of your time doing the client delivery and hiring a team and having systems, right? So I want you to type in the chat if you are in the launching, the growing, and the scaling. I think we also asked this question when you registered. So it's important for you to have that awareness, because everything we're going to say is going to really depend on if you are launching, growing, or scaling. Right? So Hillary says, I think my focus gets blurred with my family commitments. Don't we all? Yes. This planning seems like exactly what I need to get more focused. I know, exactly. I'm so happy you're seeing this, right? Tamar says, makes sense. Important exercise. Yael says, launching. Great. So launching is, like I said, right? Sharon is growing. Great. So just type in the chat. I'm launching, I'm growing, I'm scaling. Understanding what stage you are in the business is going to help you know what activities you need to focus on, right? Fern is scaling, definitely, right? Because we spoke, so that's why I'm saying definitely. Yeah, so great. You want to be able to actually identify what stage you're in, right? And then that is going to give you a list of activities that you need to be focusing on, right? So again, depending on where you are, but most businesses need to sit down once a year and have some kind of projection for their revenue goal. So when you're launching, it's a little bit difficult because you don't really know how much money you can even base on previous years because you're in the first year. But that's okay. You can, for example, look at other people that are in the same profession as you, and you can actually, see like, okay, if they're doing, they're charging this price, and I'm expecting to have one client a week, one client a month, then I can have an idea of, even if it's not going to be an exact number, but it could give me an idea. Is it 1,000, 10,000, 50,000? Like, and I'm not even talking shekels or dollars, depending on the currency that you're using, or even South African dollars, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about having an idea, right? Racheli Berkovitz is saying launching. Yael Luba is saying both, have an existing business and a new business. Okay, so one launching, one growing. Okay, so that's what you want to have, that clarity. So now type in the chat if you have a revenue goal for 2021. That's going to be the beginning of our key numbers. You don't have to type the goal that you have if you don't feel comfortable sharing the number, but you can type, yes, I have a revenue goal for 2021, or yes, 2021 in the chat. If you had from the beginning of the year a number that was an estimation or something approximate. So when you're launching, you need to base it on your either competition or people that do the same thing and really make a rule of thumb. When you are already growing, you should have a last year exercise with already numbers of how much you sold. And that's when you can apply the magic number of 20 to 30% growth, right? So let's say you made 100,000 last year, so you add 20 to 30%, and that is your choice. You say, okay, so if I made 100,000 next year, I should make between 120 and 130. That is the rule of thumb that we add from one year to the next. Okay, and right. So Tamar says, I do not have a revenue goal. Okay, so that's what you want to write down already. We're going to make the list of all the key numbers, and that is going to be your homework for tomorrow. I'm already telling you. That's a spoiler. But you're going to have, because we have 3 days that are intensive where you're going to work on this, and you're going to get out of here with clarity on your numbers. And the first number you want to have is your revenue goal for 2021. So now it's easy to have a revenue goal because you already have 3 quarters that are gone, right? So you have your revenue that you made in Q1 and Q2 and Q3. By the way, revenue means the money that you charge, the invoices. If you don't have it, your accountant has it, or even your invoice book, if you use an invoice software, whatever invoices you issued, right, is your revenue. Corona killed most of the income avenues, right? And we're not even talking about, is it high or low? It could be, I have, I don't know, $1,000. It doesn't matter. Just having a number. We want to have a number. By the way, in this whole key number exercise, which is today's theme and today's exercise, we are going to remove all the emotions from our looking at the numbers. Okay, that's really, really important. Because as entrepreneurs, and especially purpose-driven entrepreneurs, we are always connected to our emotions because we want to give, we want to share, we want people to, have an impact on people that we want to help. You want to contribute to the world, and so everything in our business is very mixed in with emotions. But when we do our strategic planning and we sit down to do our numbers, we want to connect not without emotion. We want to connect with a very, very logical, very rational, very matter of fact numbers. Okay, so it's without emotion. I didn't do any revenue in 2021 because of Corona. Okay, that's a fact. It's not an emotion, right? Because we cannot do anything on the past. When we talk about the projections, we're going to have to work on how do we project ourselves, how do we have our mindset, how do we have abundance mindset. But when we look at the past, we cannot have an emotion because it's not going to help us anyway, right? We can only look at lesson learned. We cannot say, oh, I'm so sorry that Corona, killed the business. That's it. It's done. Okay. So if you don't have today a number for your revenue goal 2021, I want you to take the money you made into Q1, Q2, Q3, and I want you to add 20% to what you made in Q3 for Q4. Okay, especially since Q3 was also the summer and the holidays, and so we can definitely add a 20%. That should be the number. Now, again, a revenue goal is not set in stone. It can change after 1 month of Q4. It can change mid-November. You can adapt it. It's just that we need to have some kind of GPS, some kind of idea of where are we going? What is the number am I looking at? We want to have that number. It could change. It could even not be reached. That's okay because, sometimes things happen. But we need to have that number even if it's going to change. So I want you to type in the chat, yes, if you have a revenue goal, or if you understand how to calculate it now that I gave you this, okay? Or if this is something that you don't know how to work on, okay? So I want you to type, because this is going to be the basis of all the key numbers that we're going to work is going to be what is our revenue goal, okay? So once we have a revenue goal for 2021, and that was beginning of 2021, for those of you, I think no one was, but for people that did the strategic planning in beginning of 2021, even with Corona and even with everything that happened, we had a revenue goal. That's what we worked on. And if we don't have it in Q1, we calculated. Q2, we calculate. Q3, now we're in Q4. It's okay. It's never too late. Oh, I didn't do it until now, so forget it. No, it's never too late. We start from now, okay? So type yes in the chat if you understood, either if you have your revenue goal or if you understood how to calculate it. You don't have to do it now. You can do it until tomorrow, but I'm going to give you a list of homework and of numbers to look for, and that's going to be one of them, okay? And then what happens that every 3 months, we evaluate where we are with this goal. Okay, let's say I had $50,000 goal for every quarter, okay? So yes, I can calculate. Great. Okay, so that's Yael. Great. The calculation you explain is helpful. Q4 to, okay, great. That's Hillary. Racheli says yes. Great, thank you. Okay, great. So I want everyone to say yes. I'm going to be able to have that revenue goal until at least Q4, which is the end of 2021. Okay, and then starting from 2021, I hope that after this training, you'll know that every 3 months we have to go back to the revenue goal. And we analyze what we've done until now in order to know what we need to do going forward in the next quarter, right? So the key numbers in our business allow us to track where we are from one quarter to the next, okay? And so and that's what we meet for our strategic planning day with my clients, or a strategic planning live training with you guys so that you get to do that, okay? So Yael says, don't have a goal. Okay, so I'm gonna re-explain. And if not, then you'll be able to watch the recording so that for tomorrow you'll have that, right? So the goal that you want to do is you want to base it on Q3 of this year, right? So Q3 was until September, right? It was July, August, September. So the money that you made in July, August, September, you take that amount, right? And you add 30% to it. And that should be your revenue goal for Q4. That's as simple as that, right? Let's not complicate it, okay? So what happens during the live training? That's what we did. That's what we said before. The three components. So today is know your number. Tomorrow is going to be reverse engineer your marketing, because now I'm saying you need to have a revenue goal, but then you're going to tell me, but how do I reach that goal? Where do I find the clients? How do I get my client the number, right? Okay, I have a goal, great, but now I need clients. So tomorrow we'll talk about how do we reverse engineer our marketing based on those key numbers, right? And on day number 3, we'll talk about mindset and habits. What got you here won't get you there. Okay, so that's what we're started. So today is really about knowing your numbers. And I found this really interesting quote by Marcus Lemonis that I have to admit that I didn't know before this quote. So maybe some of you know him, but I just like the quote very much, because that's what I say all the time. So someone else is saying it, not just me. If you don't know your numbers, you do not know your business. Okay, if you need to write this in big in front of your screen, if you want to remember it all the time, you want to really say to yourself, if I don't know my numbers, I don't know my business. Okay, so some people might say, if I don't know my clients, I don't know my business. Or if I don't know, what I'm offering them, I don't know my business. Or if I don't know my competition, I don't know what is my business. But no, right? It's really, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. Okay, so if you want to call yourself a business owner, if you want to call yourself someone who has a business, and again, not a hobby, right? Because if we don't know our business, it's like if we don't know our numbers, it's just like if we have a hobby. Oh, I do this because I like it, I love it. How much money do I make? I'm not sure. How much money do I spend? I'm not sure. How much profit do I make? I'm not sure. How many clients? I don't know. Okay, so I have a hobby. I'm doing something that I love and I'm enjoying myself, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with. It's just that then you cannot expect to have a business goal for a hobby. So if you have a hobby, you're enjoying yourself, you love it, it's great, perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. But then you cannot come at the end of the quarter or the end of the year and say, oh, I didn't do my goals, or I don't have enough revenue, or, I thought I would make more money, or I don't have enough clients, right? Because if I don't look at the numbers before, then I cannot come at the end of the quarter or end of the year, which in our case is the same, and say, oh, how come I don't have enough clients? Because I didn't plan for it, right? It's like if I come, in the kitchen and I take everything like eggs and flours and everything, and I'm mixing them in without looking at the recipe, without looking at the ingredients, without looking at the quantity. I'm just putting everything I have in the fridge in the bowl and then putting it in the oven. And then I take it out and, oh, I don't have a cake, right? Well, you cannot have a cake if you didn't follow the recipe. So the recipe is going to tell you take 4 eggs, not 6, not 2, 4. And the recipe is going to tell you, 2 spoons of sugar, 5 cups of flour, and you're going to follow the recipe, and that is the results, the outcome of this recipe is a cake. So if you follow the recipe, you put it in the oven, you're going to come out with a cake. That is the expectation. But if you put all the ingredients, I'm going to do a little bit of marketing, a little bit of social media, a little bit of past clients, a little bit of talking to networking. I'm going to do a webinar here and just going to put everything in the bowl, right? And then I'm going to wait, put it in the oven. And when it comes out, I want to have a business. Well, that's not going to work. Okay, let me know if this makes sense. Because if you don't type in the chat, I feel like I'm talking to myself. And I'm like, is there a connection? Are people here? So you have to keep on typing in the chat saying, yes, it resonates. Yes, this is what I feel. Or no, it doesn't resonate. Or what are you talking about? I just want you to be really interactive. We're doing this in a live, but we're not. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yael, thank you. Someone is reacting. Okay. We have Yael is saying, so everyone else is asleep? Is that the thing? So only Yael. Okay. So Yael, you and I are together in this. Yes, we have another yes. Great. Okay. So people are not asleep. Sharon is not asleep. Great. Absolutely. Okay. Love this. Okay. And by the way, when you're typing, you're also giving yourself accountability. Okay, not just for me. It's also for you. Because if not, you go, on WhatsApp and social media. Definitely makes sense, Hillary. Racheli, yes, great. Okay, so we're going to look at the key numbers, and then I have a special surprise for you guys. I wasn't sure if the surprise would come because we didn't know until the last minute. But now we know she's here. She's actually in the waiting room. And so I have a guest surprise for you tonight. And we're going to finish one slide and then we're going to bring her on. And she's going to talk to us about what is her experience on following the key numbers, okay? The key numbers in her business. We're here and listening, taking notes on how to move forward. Yeah, Tamar, amazing. Gunda, yeah, Fern, perfect. Okay, so I want to share this one slide with you and then we're going to talk to our guests. So what are the key numbers? Okay, the key numbers, and this is the list that you're going to have also as homework for tomorrow. So you could write it down if you want, but you'll also have a worksheet. So those are the numbers that you need to know. I don't care if some people I know have people that do their numbers for them. They're like, oh, I don't do numbers. My husband does it. My accountant does it. Or my brother-in-law looks at my numbers or whatever, okay? I don't care. Whoever does your number and whoever is your accountant, those are numbers you need to know, okay? You need to know, just like you know the age of your kids, or you probably know your birthday, right? Or whatever it is, the numbers that you know, or your phone number, those numbers you need to know. So you need to know what is the revenue that you made until now, until today. And again, if you don't today, you'll be able to have tonight to look for it until tomorrow. And then you're going to thank me because you're going to say, wow, it's amazing what it does to really know my numbers, okay? So you need to know what is my revenue for the year until today. And again, write it down. Even if you don't have it now, then you'll have it until tomorrow. We spoke about the revenue goal for the year 2021, how to calculate that, right? You also want to know what is your revenue that you have secured in your pipeline. So I'm going to explain that. Secured in your pipeline means that you know that clients, not that clients are going to sign with you, that client already signed, but they have maybe a payment installment or you agreed for them to pay in a month. So it's money that it's clients that already bought, right? It's money secured. It's not a promise, yeah, I'm going to work with you this month. No, that doesn't work. It's someone that already signed a contract, committed to work, and actually is secured in the pipeline. So you want to have that number too. Oh, I have 2 clients who are paying me an installment. One is going to pay in November, one in December. That is money that I call secured in your pipeline. The other number that you want to have is how many clients did you have in the past quarter? I was nice with you because with my clients, I asked for the whole year. But with you, I'm asking just for the past quarter, okay? So I want you to have clarity of how many clients, and it doesn't have to be big. It could be for low entry product, people that paid for something. Could be that they paid little, but they paid, okay? How many clients did you have? And the other number that I want you to have is what is my average price per client? And you can also look only on the past quarter. If you want to look at the whole year, it's better. If you want to be an excellent student, that's great. But if you just want to look at the past quarter, that's fine too. Even though in some of your businesses, the past quarter was not really representative of the whole year because it was the vacations, the summer vacation, and the holidays. So you can decide if you want to go for the whole year or for the quarter. But the homework is, and we're not done because we have a guest, and I'm going to talk about more of that after the guest. But it's about the number of clients that you've had in the past quarter / past year, and what is my average price. So people say, but what if I have, how do I count repeat clients? And the repeat client counts as 1, okay? Because you don't have to look for them again. Okay, so it's only 1 client. And also if you have, let's say, a $10 product and a $500 product, and you say, oh, is that the same thing? Well, average means what it means that you take all your products, whether it's $10 or $500, and you make an average, okay? Because here we're not in a pricing exercise. We're not in an irresistible offer exercise. We are in a key number. So we need to have that average price per client. Again, whether it's last quarter or last year. So before I welcome our guests to share with us, because I wanted you to get firsthand from people who actually work on their numbers, right? Because I'm going to introduce Aviva Yoselis, and she's going to introduce herself because she didn't send me the sentence to introduce her. I know that she's the CEO of Health Advice, but she will explain. And I wanted you to have firsthand experience or firsthand connection with someone who is actually doing her numbers, who was with us in the SPD, the Strategic Planning Day, with my clients. And I want to ask her with you how she feels. So in the meantime, if you have questions on those numbers, you can type in the chat, but I'm going to remove the PowerPoint. Hello, and I'm going to add Aviva. Hello, you made it.
Hi. I thought it was like clear. I didn't realize. I accepted the invite. I thought I was done.
That's perfect. You're right. I'm just like more like I need to control everything. Everyone is. The main thing is that you're here. So Aviva, I want you to do two things. First, I want you to really introduce yourself, because I want you to explain to the people that are here what you do. And then we're going to talk about how you were with your numbers before and how you are now, like just about the knowing, how was this process of looking for the numbers and getting more control over your numbers. So go ahead.
Okay. So yes, my name is Aviva, and I am a patient advocate. I'm a certified board certified patient advocate with a background in public health. But I have been working for about 10, 12 years as a patient advocate. I have my own business, and I also train other people how to be patient advocates, mostly in Israel with English speakers, but I do work with some people abroad. But that's pretty much my
So you've been in business for 10 to 12 years.
Well, so this I had beforehand. I did research coordination for academics, like in the community.
Okay.
Applied research, and I also did patient advocacy. And then I worked for a number of years with a nonprofit, and Corona kind of changed the whole field. And that's when I had to decide, what am I doing? Am I going out or to look for a real job?
Right.
Or am I gonna try this again with a different, hopefully more functional business model?
Right.
And that's actually where I found you. So I mean,
right.
And now we're working together for over a year. So
right. So we've been working together, and I want you to tell me because today is really about knowing your key numbers, right? Today is day number 1 of our strategic planning live training, and it's really about how were you before with the numbers? Like, what was your approach, or even your emotions, or did you like numbers, or was it something you enjoyed doing? And how, since we know you went through this strategic planning experience, how is it now? Like, can you tell us like the before and the after?
Sure. So first of all, I think I'm one of the lucky ones in that the numbers never scared me. Like I didn't, I wasn't intimidated by them. I wasn't, I keep track. I kept track in Excels, and I kept track in my invoice program, about the income and outcome, but I don't think I was savvy about it, meaning I didn't actually know what to do with the numbers. I think that was kind of I'm here and I want to get here, but I don't know how to do that. And so this was the third strategic planning day that I've done with you this time.
That's true.
But like, I feel like it takes a bit, sort of to get into the mindset. I feel like this time that I spent was a complete epiphany. I feel like I have such a clear roadmap about what it is that I need to do. Because I think part of the difficulty of running your own business, being an entrepreneur, especially if you have a small or no staff, is that everything kind of feels overwhelming and everything feels of equal importance. And I don't know, I have a very also limited time with which I could work. I have children, I have other obligations, etc. So I need to know when I start my day exactly what is the priority, what am I doing, what are the focus. And I felt like sort of breaking down the numbers with you this last time really gave me a clear sense of, okay, I know what I need to do, until the end of the quarter.
Right. And so it's interesting because I'm sure that a lot of people, even, in the live now and in general, are if they are doing their numbers, they're doing money coming in, money coming out, like revenue and expenses, because that is basic common sense. Even a budget, at home, the money coming in, money coming out, you need to. So that I feel it's already great. Some people don't even do that, but we hope that everybody is at least aware of how much money they make, how much money they spend, and how much money is left. So I feel like this is something that's really common sense. But what I like about what you said, and what I want everyone here to hear, is that this is not business skills. This is like common sense. Like I said, like when even you manage a home budget, you have to do that. But what you just said is, how do we take the numbers and we understand from the numbers what is the strategy, like what are the different steps that I'm going to have to make, and how do I understand from those numbers what is next step, and what do I focus on, and what is the priority, right? So that's what I really like about what you said, because that's looking as a business owner to your next 3 months. So
Exactly.
Can you describe a little bit more? By the way, guys, if you have any questions in the chat, I'm looking at the chat here. So again, remember, if you don't type anything, I assume that you're sleeping. So if you want me to know that you're awake, just type anything, hey, I'm awake. But also, if you have questions for Aviva, that's also why I figured it was really great to have someone come and talk about their own experience. Because I can talk for hours and I can say, this is great, you should do this, you should do that. But when someone else comes and says, I've done it and it works, okay, so then you say, okay, now I get a little bit, I trust it more, right? So if you have any questions for Aviva, please type it in the chat and I will. Aviva is inspiring. I agree. That's Yale Tanner. That's great. That's great.
Nice.
That's nice. Aviva I agree. I definitely agree. So yeah, you could say nice things about Aviva or ask questions. That's also an option. So can you tell us a little bit, without going too much into details, because we're not going to go into the whole plan, but what type of clarity did you get from the numbers? Can you describe more?
So I think it's important to point out also what you said is exactly like I always done the budget, what comes in and what's going out. And I was really always proud of myself. Like, okay, I do that, and I was always like very aware of that because that's my personality. And you're right, exactly. I did that for my home budget. Right. But moving to the next level, what you were telling us was, okay, start with the end in mind, like the reverse engineering. How much, what do you want your revenue to be for the next quarter? So this is always like, I always have trouble with this like, what am I supposed to put here? Like my dream number or like, so you were good. And so basically like what you've been doing and like add 20% on, which for me is helpful. I'm sure for other people, but for me, because you always tell me my prices are too low anyway. But that was, I realized that I just need a structure. I just need a structure and I just need to make a choice because that's the only way that I get to move forward. So once I had that structure, I said, okay, that's my revenue to the end of the year. And then you told me, you said like, okay, look at your client prices that you're charging per client. How many clients do you need to reach that revenue by the end of the year? And suddenly it just like, it totally changed the perspective because I saw that number and I thought, okay, that is a number that I can reach for, and then you helped us, we're thinking about like marketing goals, but, and projects. But I felt like if I know that I have a number and I have to do that number by X time, and I know already, what I use, what are the skills or what are the projects that I'm using to get anyway a client, it was just very helpful because I felt like it made it so much more structured. And now I felt like, okay, now I can build a plan around that. It's not like this, like very fuzzy, I need to, increase my income, which is basically what I always have in the back of my mind. It's like, I need to increase my income, but it's like it's very foggy and, you don't know what to do with that. So,
I love this. I love this. I feel like you're talking for everyone because I'm sure everyone is like, oh yeah, this is me. This is me. So we have questions here. So let me just let me look at the name because I'm not seeing the name. So Yael is asking, and Yael is the one who finds you inspiring, right?
Right. So I know. I was so thought she was going to keep complimenting me, which is great. So
you better have a good answer for her, right? That's what we. So she's asking, how did you know how many clients to take on without overwhelm? And if you don't have an answer for that, I can answer. But what is your take on that? How did you know how many clients to take on without being overwhelmed.
Right. So first of all, it's a good thing because I'm already overwhelmed. So you know, I didn't have to worry about that. And the other thing that I'm busy doing with Natalie is figuring out how to hire. That's what I'm in the process of. So, but it was very clarifying for me that if I wanted to, you know, like if I want to up my clients and I'm already need to hire, like, right, there isn't, I've got to do that. It was kind of like the push, like, it doesn't kind of matter if I feel comfortable with the hire, which I don't let because I'm sort of like, I have to have everything that's going to cover the hire. But seeing like, okay, you need X clients by X date, and you really can't, you know, won't be able to handle everything as you would that. So that was first of all, like, okay, I've got to hire.
Right.
The second thing is that I also know it's a goal. You know, I also know that there's like, that I might not get there. There's a pacing that comes along, you know, and if I see that things kind of like everything comes together, I will, you know, I will
Right.
figure it out as I think one of
Exactly.
the most important things that of doing this is not to be afraid.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And that's why having a number, whatever, I want to say whatever the number. Obviously, we don't want to just have, a number
No,
of
no, the
people.
number was also reasonable
Right,
to like what I've been doing. It wasn't like I need 30 more people. Do you know what I'm saying?
right.
It was like
Yeah,
I need 4 clients by, you know, X date.
exactly.
Oh, okay. That I was like, oh, I can actually do that, you know.
Right, exactly. And so, and Yael also adding on to what Aviva is saying, but I really love what you said, is also that this exercise of looking how many clients you had up until Q4 and adding this 20% is usually 20% is something doable, something that we can afford. Or if it's not doable, then we go back to increasing our prices. Because if we need to get a higher goal with either less or the same amount of clients, that it means that we need to we increase our prices. But that's another conversation. We
But
want
that
to
was
have
the other that
right,
was the other take home that I had was like, okay, I need this number of this type of client.
right,
I don't need any other of the like the smaller client with the thing. I
right,
don't need that, you know. This is the
exactly,
client that I need. So that
right,
also helped me clarify. Like now, when people are coming in, I'm not pursuing the smaller clients. I'm pursuing the longer term, larger package clients because I know that I need to close them till the end of the year to like have the revenue that I want. And I feel like that's very clarifying because it also helps me make, you know, priorities.
exactly, exactly. That is also saying, okay, if I need to get to that number, I cannot have 10 small clients. I need to have like 4
Exactly.
medium to big clients, and then
Exactly.
this is going to help me. So it also that's, by the way, that is strategy, right? That is strategy is, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to do this. And when we do, we think strategy is a plan, but most of the time strategy is what to say no to. I say no to this, no to this, no to this, and then this is what I'm focusing on. Okay.
Right.
So we have a lot of comments here. So very informative, Aviva. Thank you. I also need to figure out what my top priorities are before I get started in the morning. Exactly. And so we'll talk about the project. So tomorrow is about all the reverse engineering and the marketing. So that's day 2. Today is about having clarity on the numbers, and tomorrow we will do the priorities. So you'll have that definitely. Sorry, I'm not saying your names because in StreamYard I don't see the names. Then someone is saying, I relate to also knowing the money coming in and expenses, but more challenging to set goals and planning. Well, that's exactly what we hear, right? So relate to what Aviva is saying. Perfect. That's great. Lily is here. Hi, Lily. Lily is saying yes. Lily is your AB, right? She's like supporting.
Yeah.
Love it. So now someone is asking, would love to hear more about how Aviva handled publicizing the new venture. How did your clients find you? So let me see who is, that's Fern. Okay, Fern. So that is something we're going to talk about tomorrow. That's the whole marketing, and that's the whole, like, how do we reverse engineer? But I think that what we're talking about here is saying, okay, I need 4 clients. Okay, that's my goal. And then the next step is, how do I find them? Which is what we're going to do tomorrow, right? But at least having that clarity. Judith is saying, Aviva has a very welcoming site and seems to be very familiar with what she's presenting, so bound to attract and help any clients. You see? Ah, brilliant. So helpful. Woo, amazing. Okay. We're doing a good job here, Aviva. Thank you. So, any piece of advice before we close? Because I told you it was 15 minutes, very short interview. But if you had to give any piece of advice around the key numbers, around the numbers, what would you say, like one advice to the people that are here with us tonight?
So I would say that I think it's crucial that you set aside time, that you don't try to look at your numbers when you're looking at your website or interacting with clients, but you really turn off any kind of social media, anything. So you're really focused on it. Give yourself if you haven't done it before, I think you have to give yourself at least 2 hours. If you have already in the thing, your pipeline, you can look at it. But if you haven't done this kind of thinking yet, I say give yourself set aside the time, because I think it's worth it. And be honest with yourself. I think that's really the thing. Really look at how many people did I serve? How many people, paid me to serve them,
Right.
which is not always the same thing,
Yes, yes, yes,
especially,
yes.
especially for women
De-
entrepreneurs, I found,
definitely,
who are in the
definitely.
helping service profession.
Uh-huh.
And I really think if you're already doing this, then don't be scared. Just jump in, because I don't know. I listen to lots of podcasts about business development, and over I hear people who do these startups, and people they had no idea about their money, none. So many people were successful, they kept going at it and at it and at it, even though it was it didn't look like it was going to be successful at all. So I don't think that we're in that position, but I do think that it's important to not be afraid, and to just jump forward and put yourself in, be smart, but to at least really make the effort in what you're doing and not hold back. That's my advice for
Love,
today.
love this. Thank you, Aviva. Thank you. This is recorded, so I'm gonna make you listen to it afterwards.
That's good. When I come in, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what do we do? Okay, that's always, of course, it's always easier to say that to others. But even if it's easier, it means that we also know where we're going. So we're going in that direction. Doesn't mean that we're doing the whole thing, but not being afraid doesn't mean I jump with all my clothing on in the cold. Right? It means I'm doing, I'm doing what is my next step. We always have one next step. Okay, so everyone
that's out
here,
of your comfort zone. That's out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it could be a small step, but it's out of your comfort zone. So Yael is saying, bless you, Aviva. And Sharon is saying, yes, paying, not gmach, right? Of course. You were talking about helping and serving. So thank you so much, Aviva. Thank you. We're not done with the live, everyone. We're going to wrap up, but I just wanted to.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would love that. That's great. You just said amazing things, and we're going to continue, guys. So stay on the live, but we're going to say goodbye to Aviva. Thank you. Amazing. I'm so happy. I had this idea. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so she'll see your comments. So if you have any other questions for Aviva, or she'll see your comments, and she'll be able to come back. And so I really wanted you to listen to Aviva, because I wanted you to have the perspective of someone who was also before doing her numbers, but very basic, like she said, money coming in, money coming out, and then doing this projection, this strategic planning numbers really helped her what we're going to do tomorrow, which is actually doing the projection. So now this is instead of the slide you had Aviva, right? And that's really the illustration of what is written here, right? Your key numbers are important because they allow you to see clearly in what's working, what's not, right? Sometimes we have an idea based on beliefs or habits, right? Sometimes people look at their numbers like, oh, I didn't know I made that much, or I didn't know I had that many clients, or I didn't know that this was my average price. We're surprised, because numbers is not something intuitive, right? So sometimes we're like, oh, I had a very bad quarter. And then you look at your numbers, you're like, oh, usually that's the reaction, actually. Usually it's like the emotion is, oh my God, I didn't really have a good quarter at all. And then you look at your numbers and you're like, oh, okay, that was not as bad as I thought, right? Because the emotion is always disproportionate, okay? And also having our numbers is going to help us prioritize and deciding, like we said, exactly what Aviva said. She said it so beautifully, what to focus on first and what to say no to, right? Like we said before. What happens when you don't keep track of your numbers, right? So you rely only on your intuition. And now we're purpose driven, very intuitive. We love doing good, but if we're not doing our numbers, then we're like, it's like accumulating here, right? So not relying only on we need our intuition. I'm very intuitive. I love our intuition, but it needs to come on top of the numbers and on top of the strategy, right? We don't have the full picture. We say yes to projects and ideas, even if it's not where our focus needs to be. We're not in control, even though we're never 100% in control. But here we're really removing all possibility of control on the outcome and the results. And you have no way of knowing that you're going to reach your goals, okay? So again, to understand why we're doing it, and that is for sure, I'm sure you're going to identify with this, is because most purpose-driven entrepreneurs don't like to work on their numbers because we feel like if we're connected to the impact or to the purpose or to the contribution, right? If we look at the numbers, we're going to disconnect from this. And I want to tell you that the mindset shift that we have to go through, and that's exactly what we said in the beginning, is that you are a business owner of a real business, not a hobby. And the more you're going to look at your numbers, the more you're going to have a real business, the more people you're going to be able to serve. And so even if you're purpose-driven and creative and you love this, creative part and intuitive part of your business, knowing your numbers is a necessary step in order to be able to serve more people, okay? So we did Aviva, and now I want to go to, this is what you're probably wondering, right? I know my key numbers, so you're going to work on the worksheet that I'm going to actually share now. So what is the homework, right? So the first homework is asking from someone in the group to be your partner. Okay, so I want you to go in the chat and say, hey, I don't have a partner. Who wants to be my partner? Could be your accountability partner, okay? If you want to do it by yourself, it's fine too. Just from experience, when we do something, when we have accountability with someone else, we make it, there's more chances that we're going to make. But if you feel like you want to do it by yourself, it's fine too. Then I want you to download the spreadsheet that I'm going to share with you now. Okay, I'm going to share it with you here in the comments. Okay, this is the it's not a spreadsheet, sorry, it's a worksheet. You're going to take the worksheet, make a copy of it, right? Don't work on the you won't be able to work on the document itself. You have to go in File, make a copy, and duplicate it in your Google Drive. Okay, and this is what is going to let me see if I can share this. I can share not the video. No, sorry. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so this is the worksheet that, I see that everyone is here already. And so very, very simple. You can read the message after, you can read the schedule and the team and a few suggestions, but basically on page 5, you get to what is exactly the questions that I had on the slide, okay? So if you work on those numbers until tomorrow, that's when we'll be able to actually have a plan based on those numbers. We'll have a step-by-step plan by reverse engineering all the different activities, marketing activities that you'll need to reach your revenue goal, okay? So I'm gonna stop the share and go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so that is your homework. And like I said, you're probably wondering, like, what about, now that I have my key numbers, my revenue goal, how will I reach this number, right? If this is your question. How do I have control over the revenue that I'm going to make in the next 3 months? How will I find the clients, which is what this Fern asked before. How will I find the client in the next 3 months to reach my goal? So all those questions we're going to answer tomorrow. And by the way, for those of you who are here, we'll have another guest coming tomorrow. She's also a client of mine, and she also went through the SPD, the Strategic Planning Day, and she'll share her own experience just like Aviva did. And so what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the homework. I'm going to stop the share now. I want you to find a partner. If you want to do it in private message, it's fine. If you want to do it in here in the chat, it's fine. And I want you to go over those questions. Take some time between today and tomorrow. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., we'll have an accountability check-in post in the group. And at 10 a.m., I'm asking everyone to come in the group and to type in the comment of the post, and just to share what were your insights. What did you do the homework or not? Did you do you have the numbers? Are you ready for tomorrow night? And then tomorrow night at 6 p.m., we will get together for day number 2 to reverse engineer and do the marketing plan that you need to get your revenue goal. Before we leave tonight, I want everyone to type in the chat one thing that they learned from today. And this is also for you to get accountability. One thing that was new, one thing that you understood, one thing that maybe you heard for the 100th time, but all of a sudden it became clear, something that became clear for you, or something that you're deciding to take upon yourself for the next 3 months, something that Aviva said, or that I said, or that I explained, or that you realized. I want you to grab this moment to type it in the chat and to say, yeah, this was really amazing to understand that. This was really resonating. This is something I'm going to take upon myself. I knew that, but now I'm going to do it. So I want you to type in the chat, what is your commitment now that you understood the importance of numbers, now that you understood the importance of having really understanding what are your key numbers in order to know what strategic decisions to make in your business. I want you to type in the chat how you feel about that. Like, how is it making you feel in terms of being a business owner, being more empowered, more committed, more clear about what to do? I want you to tell me, what is this 1 hour of training? Right, remember to focus only on advancing the goal. Amazing, Fern, love that. We need to remind ourselves of this all the time, right? I wrote in all the quarters in my calendar to check my numbers. Great, Yael, amazing. What else? What else did you get? I want everyone to type in the chat, what is the one thing, right, that you are taking away? What is your one takeaway from tonight? I love the quote, without knowing the number, you don't have a business, right, Judith? Exactly, right? So this is also something, if you grab it and you heard it, and this is something that resonated, you typing it, and now this is a transformation that is happening, right? You're becoming this business owner that you've been already. It's not like you haven't done it at all, but now you're going more towards the business owner that you want to do it, right? If I'm not making money, it's a hobby, right? Exactly, Yael, right? How numbers can guide the number of clients I will need to take on, right? Rachel is saying, certainly being more on top of my numbers makes me feel more in control of my business. Yes. Reminder of what matters. Great, Gunda. Sharon says, one thing is last quarter was better than I realized. Ooh, I love that. You see? That was worth it. Amazing. Okay, reminder of what matters. I like that, Gunda. Great, thank you. So stay in that mindset, stay motivated. I know numbers are not always very fun to work on. Expensive hobby, right? Yes, yeah, I agree. But that's okay. We can start with a hobby. In the beginning, it's okay. And then if we have this awareness, we're going to work towards making it a real business, right? And that's why you're here, right? So congratulations for being here. And congratulations for finishing the first day of the 3 days of the Strategic Planning Live Training. I really enjoy it. I always enjoy it, the lives and the teaching and you guys. And I think that you can see it, because this is really amazing to be able to do that together. And the technology is also so easy today, so it really makes it easy. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for yourself. Thank you for your business, because that shows your commitment to your business. Do the homework. Find the time tonight or tomorrow morning to go over your numbers and answer. Tell me, say yes in the group if you have your accountability partner. Is that something that, listen, I can't force you to have an accountability partner. You heard Aviva is accountability buddy with Lily. So in my program, everyone has an accountability buddy, because I really believe in that. But if you feel like this could help you, then, oh, you're welcome, Yael, you're so sweet. Then to reach out to people, don't be ashamed. Just say, hey, I want to do that, with someone. Yes, I have one. Yes, Shoshi's saying thank you. Oh, great. Okay, amazing. Good to see you. Great session. Great. Thank you, Gunda. Amazing. So find your partner, fill in the document, and then when you go tomorrow in the accountability check-in, I'm not here to check your numbers or to send me the worksheet. That's for you, but I want you to have the accountability to post in the comments, like really say, I did my homework. This is the insight. I found my numbers. You don't have to share the numbers, but share that you did the homework. Okay. Thanks, especially for showing how it works for Aviva, right? Extra input. Thanks, Fern. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow at 10 in the accountability check-in, and at 6 for the live. Hi, Hillary. Amazing. You can continue to chat. I'm going to go out of the live, but you can continue to chat, and I'll see your comments. Tag me if you have any questions. Bye, everyone. Sending you much love. Bye-bye.